Guess who's back, bitch?
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tolani and you're watching Tea Time with Tea.
Maybe I'll read a book, or maybe two or three. I'll add a few more paintings to my gallery. I'll play guitar and knit and cook and basically just wonder when will my life begin. Maybe I'll read a book, or maybe 17. I'll add a few more paintings to my gallery. Play guitar and knit and cook and basically just wonder when will my life begin.
So hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new here, you're most definitely welcome into my inner circle. So today I'm doing my August wrap up, and I'm also doing something new. I'm doing my September TBR. I do not do TBRs because I'm a mood reader, and TBRs and they don't mesh well because I'm just gonna read whatever the hell I like. I'm giving it a try for this month. August was a shitty reading month for me. I only read 10 books, but I was in kind of a slump in August and I didn't want to force myself to read, but I'm better now. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about the 10 books I read in August. So in August, the first book I read was Barbarians Redemption by Ruby Dixon. This is the 12th book in the Ice Planet Barbarians series. This is the erotic alien phenomena and I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. So basically it's the same old shit in this book. The big blue dicked aliens are back at it again with their human mates, their human partners, and it follows their story. This story introduced a new host of characters, and the storyline that led up to the romance, I was not fucking with it at all. It seemed very predatory. I don't want to spoil it, innit? What leads to the romance, I don't fuck with it at all. Basically it involves a kind of hostage situation, except it's not really a hostage situation, but it is. I don't fuck with that, so it was a 1 star for me, and I didn't even particularly enjoy the couple. This is one of the worst books in the series, in my personal opinion. Then the next book I read is It's Not About the Burka, which is by multiple authors, I believe 17 authors, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. It's Not About the Burka is a series of essays written by 17 Muslim women, and they are talking on a myriad of topics. They're talking about the hijab, they're talking about sex, love, romance, wavering faith, feminism, divorce, queer identity, and so much more. The reason I picked up this book is because one of my absolute favorite podcasters, and I follow her on Twitter, Raifa Rafiq, she is a lawyer, and on my personal account I'm basically following all the black lawyers in London, because if you didn't know, I want to be a lawyer, and I absolutely love her. She has a podcast about books, and then she has another podcast, a new one with just her. It's called This Thing Changed My Life, and I absolutely adore her, and she just lives the bourgeoisie life that I want to be living when I qualify as a lawyer. And so I read this for her, but I stayed for all the essays because they were so personal, and you can tell that a lot of love had been poured into these essays, and I really enjoyed it. And it talks about so many different important topics. Raifa's topic is about being black and Muslim. That's what her essay was about, and I really enjoyed it. And whilst I'm not Muslim myself, my father is Muslim and half my family is Muslim, and I have black Muslim friends, and the struggles Raifa detailed in that essay, a lot of the people around me, when I spoke to them about it, they could definitely relate. And so I feel like you could relate personally to that essay if you're black and Muslim, just from what my friends and family have told me. Then I read Go Deep by Rosie Adams, which was a 5 out of 5 stars. Go Deep follows Nevaeh, and Nevaeh is an erotic romance author. Her latest book isn't doing particularly well. The reviews have come in, and all the reviews are saying, you know, the sex scenes, the smut is very uninspired. It's her worst book. And Nevaeh is in a rut because she has been celibate for a year after she found her boyfriend of 7 years, mind you, with 2 women, or maybe it was 1 woman, whatever. He was cheating on her, and since then she hasn't had sex with anyone else. So she's like, you know what, I need to get back on the horse for some inspiration, and she enlists Xander, her best friend of 30 years from the womb. Guys, they've been besties from the womb. She enlists him to be her mentor dick, and she's like, listen, you need to come give me that wood, and when you give me that wood, I'm gonna be churning out the books like and it's basically about them and their journey and how they transition from friends to lovers and maybe something more. Rosie is that awful. I love the book. I love their friendship. Right off the bat, you can tell these are people that have been friends their entire lives. I absolutely love their relationship. It's got interesting side characters as well, and an interesting side story that leads me to believe there's going to be a second book, which I'm excited for. If you like romance and you want black romance, and by black romance I mean 2 black main characters, okay, 2 black characters as each other's love interests, go and pick up Realsy's Backlist. You will not be disappointed. Then the next book I read in the month of August was The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. Erin also wrote The Night Circus, and I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. It was beautiful. So The Starless Sea is about this secret hidden labyrinth. The labyrinth is fully dedicated and committed to stories and tales. The entrances to the Starless Sea are hidden in different crevices all over the world. So they could be in a forest, they could be in a wall, they could be in your living room, they could be in plain sight. But entrance to the Starless Sea is only available to like kind of chosen people. People who the Starless Sea believe that they will appreciate all the sea has to offer. The story follows Zachary Ezra Rawlins, who is searching for his door even though he doesn't know it. The search for his door leads him to meet Mirabelle and Dorian, and the journey he goes on with these 2 is literally going to change his life forever. It's really hard for me to summarize what the Starless Sea is about because it's about so much, and if you go and read the description on Goodreads, it is so fucking long, so it's really hard for me to summarize, but I hope you got the gist of the story. I loved the Starless Sea. I thought it was absolutely stunning. I adored the writing, and it was constructed so well. It's stories within a story, and there were so many stories, but it was intricately woven through the main story. It was wonderfully whimsical. The writing is very lyrical and poetic. Like, the prose is just one of the most stunning things I've ever read in my life. Then the next book I read in the month of August was The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Technically this is like a 3.75 stars, maybe even a 3.5, but I just boosted it up to a 4 stars because you know what, my sis Christina needs to get her coin. So if you don't know, I have a whole review on this book, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it is set on the backdrop of the Rodney King riots, or the Los Angeles riots of 1992, I believe it is, and it follows Ashley Bennett, who is from an affluent, wealthy black family, but after the murder of Rodney King, she starts to see prejudices everywhere, and she has to ask herself who is the us and who is the them, and it follows her and the problems she faces. Now, whilst I hated the MC, I think she's my most hated main character, main protagonist, whatever you want to call her, of the year. Absolutely hate her guts. Go and watch my review for that. But this book did explore a lot of important topics, and that is why I did rate it so high, even though I personally think that MC is a coon. Then I read 2 manga, which is The Accidental Mistress and The Millionaire's Revenge, which is by Kathy Williams and Juniko Okada, and I gave The Millionaire's Revenge a 2 stars and The Accidental Mistress a 3 stars. This is just a romance manga, very basic storyline. Like, there's nothing really that distinctive about it. Dialogue is basic, characters are basic, storyline basic, everything basic. But you know what, it's a really quick and easy read, and it probably saved me from my slump, so I'm grateful for that. Then I read another of Rilzy Adams' books, which was Birthday Short, and I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars. This is a new release. I highly recommend this. If you want a really good romance book with good smart, I highly recommend Birthday Short, because even though Go Deep was a 5 stars, Birthday Short wins, okay? This is one of my favorite romance books ever, and I don't really care for romance like that. I like bloodshed and fantasy and magic and high stakes, but this, it got my blood flowing. Birthday Short follows Shay, who lives in Antigua. Antigua is an island in the West Indies, and she has had a crush on her brother's best friend Kofi since her adolescence, since she was young, from childhood. Okay, they all grew up together, cool. Anyway, Kofi moved away to London, whatever, cool. But her brother is engaged, and Kofi comes back for his best friend's engagement party, and Shay realizes the feeling she had for him, it's still there. Her 30th birthday comes up, and she's like, you know what, she's gonna shoot her shot because birthday sex doesn't count, right? and the story goes from there. This book was amazing. Oh my gosh, I don't want to talk too much because I do have a review already filmed. I'm ready to go, but I fucking love this book. Let me tell you why I loved this book. The smut, oh my gosh, the sex scenes were amazing. It has some of my favorite kinks in this book. This book was so good, the smut was so good that literally it had me feeling some type of way. I was like, ooh. This book made me feel like I wanted a man. Then after the book was done, I remembered Kofi's not real and men are trash, so I don't want a man. But for a second, it almost got me. Shay and Kofi, I think they're perfect for each other. They're so adorable. I loved reading them. I loved reading about them together. This book was black as fuck. Oh my gosh, I love how black this book is. I'm so tired of people saying, oh, this is a black romance book and it's like one black MC with a white person. No, I want two black people together, and this book gave me that. But that's not what I mean by black as fuck. I just mean it was blackety black, black, black. And when you read it, you'll know why. This guy, I said this in my review, I don't think I'm gonna say it again. He said her pussy was so wet. You see the bashment songs, it's dedicated to that pussy. I said, woo. Also, like, there's no third act conflict. There is an obstacle they have to face together, but it doesn't involve them. There's no fight going on between them, and I really like that. Then I read the incredible, the amazing The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. Oh my god, I have a whole review on this book. Please go and watch that, because the synopsis I'm about to give does not do this incredible book justice, and I want to see more people talking about this on BookTube, because honestly this book deserves so much fucking recognition because it is amazing. It's a 2000 out of 5 stars, and you must read it right now. So The Grace of Kings is an epic fantasy, and it is inspired by East Asian and Chinese history and mythology. In simplest terms, the most simple basic terms, I would describe this book as being about two very different men who must band together to take down a tyrant, and they become friends on their journey to take down this tyrant. Once they have taken this tyrant down, they find themselves leaders of opposing factions who disagree on how the world should be run, and then another conflict ensues from there. This book includes political intrigue, intimate plots, and so much fucking action. The battle scenes in this book are amongst some of the best I have ever read. I love this book so much. It's my favorite fantasy of the year so far. Also, if you're not really a fantasy person, there's not really magic in this in the traditional sense. There are fantastical elements, but it's not like your typical fantasy. My only complaint of this would be that there is a lack of women, but that is further delved into in my review and explained. And the reason I still gave it 5 stars, I mentioned this in my reviews, because there was no way I was going to debunk this by a star or half a star when it's an author of color, when there are so many popular big brand name fantasy books written by white authors that have no women at all, and you still gave them 5 stars. So whilst yeah, you can criticize it, also you need to be fair in your criticisms, because authors of color and black authors are always getting more shit for things that your white faves have been getting away with and doing purposely for time. Another reason I also didn't debunk this because of the lack of women is because from this book, I already knew in the second book women were going to have a much bigger role because of so many things that are said and done in this book. And I'm reading the second book and I'm buddy reading with Edward. Hi Edward, if you're watching this. And already the role of women has increased times 100, and that book for me, I feel like it's going to be even better than the first. So please do give it a chance. I'm begging all of you, I'm pleading. If it's shit, if you think it's shit, well, your taste sucks. No, I'm joking, but you can beat me up, but please pick it up, read it, support Ken. The last book I read in the month of August was You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. This book was so cute. It's a sapphic romance, trigger warnings for death, homophobia, and outing. This book follows Liz Lighty, and she has a dream. She wants to become a doctor and attend Pennington College, which is her dream college. However, when the financial aid she was counting on falls through, this dream she had falls apart. Like, she had no backup. She thought her financial aid was going to be foolproof, until she remembers that a school does this thing for the prom king and queen, which involves a scholarship, whoever wins. And so she finds herself running for prom queen. Liz hates the attention and the prospects of getting ridiculed and or mocked. However, she's not going to let anything get in the way of her dream to attend Pennington, so she just says fuck it and she runs. So there's a new girl in school and her name is Mac. Mac makes the process of running for prom queen more tolerable. However, the problem is that Mac is also running for prom queen, so there's a bit of a conflict there. And now Liz needs to think, is falling for the competition going to keep her from the dream, or perhaps help all her dreams to come true? This book was very cute, a very cute book. I really enjoyed it. The romance was cute, but what really did this book for me, what I really loved about it as well as the romance, was the family aspects and the emphasis on family and the importance of family, and I really enjoyed that. It really warmed my heart. I also loved seeing Liz get to find herself. I love how the author wrote Liz healing from her mother's death, and that's not a spoiler, you get it as soon as the book is open. But I really enjoyed this book. It was very cute. That is all the books I read in August. Now I'm going to give you my September TBR. Blue Exorcist by Kazu Kato. I watched the anime of Blue Exorcist and I really enjoyed it. This is about a guy named Rin, and Rin discovers one day that he is the son of Satan. Yes, the devil. He hates Satan and he swears to defeat him, and so he joins True Cross Academy so he can qualify to become an exorcist. The next books I want to read in September are Nevernight and God's Graves. Cindy's review kind of put me off, and also I read it before Cindy even put out that review, and I only got to chapter 6. Okay, my books, don't cry. And I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, but I do own them. I got them for Christmas and I hate owning books that I don't read. Next book I want to read in the month of September is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal, and I know that this is a YA fantasy book. Then I want to read A Little Life by Hanya Yangahira. It's about almost 800 pages, I believe, and everyone who reads this cries. I don't even want to know what it's about. I want to go into it blind, but I believe it's about 8 friends or maybe 6 friends, I'm not sure. The next book's on my TBR. I've already started reading, and this is the book I'm buddy reading with Edward Lawn, and that is The Wall of Storms by Ken Liu, which is the second book in the Dandelion Dynasty series. So this is the book after The Grace of Kings. It's already so amazing, and I feel like it's even better than the first book, and the first book was 5 stars as well, and I fucking love it. There's so much more political intrigue in this book, so much more women. I love women. I absolutely adore Thera and Zomi. This book I'm already reading as well, and it is Jade City by Fonda Lee. Everyone is talking about this and Jade War. I'm currently buddy reading this with Anne, and I'm actually really enjoying it so far. I understand why people simp for Hilo, and Andin is my son. I just want to look after him. He's baby. Well, he's not really my son, he's older than me, but he's still my baby. The next book I want to read in September is Legacy of Ash. I've started reading this, but I haven't really been reading it. I'm only on like page 30 something. What I'm hoping to do is bang this out in a day or two. It's just that I've been watching so much anime lately, I haven't really been reading. Monet recommended this. She says she absolutely loves it. It's supposed to be like an epic high fantasy, and that is my shit. From what I've read so far, the little I've read, I could definitely get into the shit. Then I want to read The Girl King by Mimi Yu. The Girl King has been on my shelf forever. Then I have Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Mer. Holly also so kindly got this for me, so thank you so much, Holly. This is an adult fantasy. I've heard good things about. I've heard some mixed things as well, but mostly good things I've heard about it, and I'm really looking forward to reading it. But the last book on my physical TBR is The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. It's signed. I met Holly and Cassandra Clare at their event they did a few years ago in London. Read it, yeah. Even though I bought this book, and I don't buy books and don't read them. I don't do that. I don't have money to be doing that, Tolani. You don't fucking do that. The reason I picked this up is because I heard a few people say the depiction of vampires is very different from what we usually see, and that intrigued me. So hopefully I read it and I like it. So yeah, those are the books I read in August and my September physical TBR. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Follow me on all my social media. It's linked down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.